that you're saying, because I kind of sometimes understand that. They tell you facts.
Sometimes your mom can be very not delicate enough. So you encounter similar situations, yes?
I don't know, Master. Thank you.
Let's not go there. Okay, fine.
So they did help, but they couldn't. It was beyond their help to give you the help that you wanted. So we ask help, but it doesn't necessarily always get our way. Now, Master, my problem.
Okay.
I got drawn in with Apple's once Apple was saying her story. I got very afflicted. So obviously something's happening in my many goals or something, and I don't know what to do. Not her fault. I just being drawn into the situation. Nowadays I could get out a lot of time, but there are times I cannot get out. I just got trapped in it. This is the time. I'm stuck, Master. I'm very afflicted.
Okay, very good. I'm just curious, does your boyfriend criticize you?
Ask him. Ask him. Yes, he's right there. His speech is big. Thank you, Master.
Anyway, does it help? The point here is that part of your training is to endure suffering. You keep on forgetting. Okay? You are choosing. Your training is such that you're choosing to endure suffering. That's what makes you a superior person, a better person, because you choose to endure it when you don't have to. Okay? Not just everything, anything, but the point here is that that's the training. The training is about enduring the suffering, more and more of it. At first it starts with sitting, crossing your legs. You have to endure the suffering there. And then, and because physically it's very difficult for you. It's not a natural thing. It's a rather silly thing to cross your legs like that, because it stops your, it constricts your blood flows, and therefore will make you very uncomfortable, and you will suffer a lot. Okay? Unless in a prior life you have good roots. Remember, good roots, again, this is important. I don't want to miss this point. The good roots here refers to you have the capacity for goodness. It's not just good roots, meaning better roots and whatever. Good roots here refers to shan here. Shan here is good. Good roots here refers to actually goodness. It doesn't mean better. Okay? This is what the Chinese fail to emphasize in my mind. That when they talk about shan, gun is roots, shan is good. Okay? Good roots. Okay? What the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the ancients are saying is that actually they have planted the seeds of goodness repeatedly over and over and over again in the past. It's not about planting they did things that were beneficial to them later. Okay? It's about doing good things. And in order to do good things, there's some consequences. When you do good things, you will suffer. True or not? In America, we have a saying, no good deeds goes unpunished. So the Chinese language is very profound. Good roots says that they dared do good, even in the face of obstacles, in the face of suffering that accompanies doing good. And they kept on doing it and doing it and doing it, and they maintained that attitude. Okay, xiu is to cultivate the practice. Chu is maintain it. So they maintain their good deeds without any fears. And that's the nature of good roots. Yes, DTT.
마스터, 제가 어제 저녁에 질문 드리고 싶은 게 생각이 나서 질문 드렸고, 제가 만약에 이 질문을 회사를 다녔었다면 하지 않았을 질문 같아요. 네.
Master, I came up with a question last night. Maybe this question I wouldn't have asked you if I was going to work.
그러니까 이제 참고로 제 직업은 두 개였는데, 첫 번째 제가 20, 30대는 대기업의 비서로 14년을 일했고, 또 그 이후에는 이제 상담사로 10년을 일했거든요. 네. 이제 제가 하고자 하는 질문은 제가 비서였을 때 그 경험에 관련된 질문이에요. 네.
Actually, I had two job titles. In my 20s and 30s, I was working for a big company as a secretary, and then I became a counselor. But this question is about the period when I worked as a secretary.
이제 제가 어제 하고 싶었던 질문은, 근데 저는 이제 그 CEO의 비서였었기 때문에 이제 사장의 입장이 있고, 사장이 성향이나 사장이 원하는 바가 있고, 또 조직을 이끌어가야 되는 여러 그런 밸런스라고 해야 되나? 그 중간에서 좀 힘들었었거든요. 그런데 이제 회사 다닐 때는 당연히 회사의 이익과 사장의 그 욕구와 원초와 리드에 맞추면 됐는데, 아무런 고민 없이. 왜냐하면 조직이고 회사는 이익을 추구하는 집단이니까요. 네.
So I was actually a secretary of this company's CEO, and this CEO has certain ways of preference, and also there's ways to lead the organization. So I just need to balance between the CEO and the organization. So this was rather easy because the company just need to be profitable.
네, 그런데 이제 제 고민은, 사람들이 자기 하고 싶은 욕구가 있고, 특히 이제 사찰 같은 경우는 굉장히 사찰에 오는 사람들의 스펙트럼이 굉장히 넓단 말인 거죠. 그러니까 제가 위하는 마음, 직업병이었는데 위하는 마음이 있는데, 그 사이에서 제가 어떻게 해야 될지를 모르겠는 거예요. 예전에 이제 회사처럼 할 수도 없고, 회사 다닐 때 욕을 많이 먹었거든요. 네.
So each and one of us has our own desires, and when I'm at the temple actually diverse people come, and maybe this is my occupational thing that between them I don't know what to do. I couldn't behave when I used to work in a company because I got a lot of I was condemned in my company when I was working.
그래서 이제 마스터도 어제 말씀하셨지만, 저는 분별심이 굉장히 많고 굉장히 시간 낭비를 무엇보다 가장 싫어하거든요. 그렇기 때문에 제 번뇌의 사실은 포인트는 시간 낭비하기 싫다, 쓸데없는 인력과 비용을 투입되기 싫다라는 게 가장 큰 번뇌의 원인인 거는 알겠어요. 네.
So as you know, Master, I have a lot of discrimination, and I do not. 그럴 리가. And I do not want to waste time. So most of my affliction arises from me not wanting to waste time and not wanting to put labor on useless things.
그리고 마지막으로 산호세 애플의 코멘트가 있는데요. 네, 한번 끊을게요.
And I also have a comment for Apple in San Jose.
가끔 우리가 TV를 보면 빅스타의 과잉 경호 논란이 있잖아요. 그런 경우라고 생각을 합니다. 저는 좀 저랑 비슷한 성향의 제가자였던 것 같아요. 이상입니다.
When you see the television, there's something. Sometimes there's a controversy on excessive protection of the TV stars, right? I think it's the same thing. The family maybe had a similar personality as me.
Yeah, you know, Jumi, you gave me an idea. That in some cases, when we allow you to ask questions here, the questions sometimes get longer and more complicated. And so it made me feel like I'm like having a therapy session. And as such, in therapies, people can talk leisurely and take their time to get to the point. So this is why there usually is a couch. So excuse me, in the future, every time you come to the US, I will insist on having a couch behind me. Because every time you ask questions, I can lie down and say, oh God, why me? Never mind, but thank you. So was there a question? I care. You see, I want to make sure that your questions are answered.
제 질문은 마스터, 그냥 제가 그냥 뭔가 회사가 아니라 이제 사찰이니까 주지스님이겠죠. 그러니까 주지스님의 입장, 뭐 그게 마사지뿐만 아니라 마스터 XC도 마찬가지예요. 마스터 XC가 잠도 못 자고 밥도 못 먹고 굉장히 희생을 많이 하고 일단 산호세에서 JMT로 왔다는 것 자체가 XC 자체에 굉장히 목숨을 건 약속을 지키기 위한 행보였는데, 네.
So Master, actually, so this is not a company, this is a temple. So actually this is, I'm representing the abbot's position. So it's like Master Z and for Master C. They don't sleep well and they don't eat well and they're sacrificing so much. So for Master C, he came from San Jose to JMT. That itself is a big
And
sacrifice.
this is a new topic?
마스터 생각이 났어요. 어떻게 질문해야 되는지.
I kind of, you know, every time I listen to her, I said, are you related to Apple? Not this one, the other one.
그러니까 마스터 어떻게 질문했으면 됐냐면 그냥 제가 그냥 상사에게 하는 그 로얄티와 많은 사람들의 욕구와 원태와 리드 사이에서 어떻게 인욕해야 되는지를 질문 드려야 될 것 같아요.
Master, now I know how to ask you. So I want to ask you between what should I do between the loyalties towards my boss and between the desires of people.
Desires of people? What kind of desires?
뭐 여러 가지 절에 오는 이유가 있다고 생각해요. 뭐 건강해지고 싶어서 부자가 되고 싶어서 뭐 여러 가지 이유가 있어서 절에 오기 때문에 그런 욕구를 말하는 것입니다.
I think there's various reasons they come to temple. Maybe they want to be healthy, they want to be rich. All those desires I'm talking about.
And what does it have with the loyalty to your boss?
뭐 예를 들면 이제 너무 밥도 못 먹고 잠도 못 자고 그렇게 막 고생을 하는데 뭐 이제 그런 것들이요.
For example, they cannot eat well, cannot sleep well, and they're working so hard, something like that.
Okay, but how is it they're your boss?
제 직업병이라고 생각해 주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
I think it's a disease I carry from my prior job.
Okay. Now I'm more confused. That's okay. We'll let it slide. Okay, go ahead. Wei Mama has a question.
Oh. Hello, Master. I got
Hello.
It's pretty simple question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Let me be the
question.
judge of that.
It's a key question. So sometimes it happens sometimes when I meditate. So when I could feel like a chi current floating very smoothly suddenly in my body. But then I get this more frequently after I wake up. So after I wake up, within 5 minutes, I would feel a chi floating in my body. And usually I would just stay in bed, let it finish floating because I felt like I was healing my body going through. It doesn't last that long. But I do get that occasionally for meditation. So now my question is, Master, do I wait until the chi finish floating or do I just cut it off? Does it do anything good for me actually at that point?
It depends.
Sorry?
It depends. You could sit there, you could lie there and wait for the chi to finish flowing. Okay? If you have time.
What about meditation?
About what?
What about while I was meditating? Same thing?
You're meditating and the chi flows?
Yeah.
Okay, meditate some more.
I feel like when I'm meditating, I feel like I have this attachment. Usually I try to let it stop before I get off the seat. But, things are happening. A lot of time, I might be better to follow the schedule. So.
What did you do to your boyfriend? Now he's in half lotus. That is weird. That is scary. Look at that. He usually sit with his two legs in front of him, which I laugh at that. Let me tell you, just between us Buddhists, okay? You go to Buddha hall and you stick your legs out like that. In the future, you'll be a snake in future lives. So I laughed at you, Catholic. You're going to get what you deserve. Look at him now. This is torture. Anyway, okay, don't worry about it. Yeah, the quick answer is, if you have time, you can let the chi flow. You don't have time, go. It doesn't matter that much. Okay, next. YouTube question.
Thank you, Master. You have a comment here from T.S. Geppetto. Amitabha, Master. For some weeks, I have been afflicted now. Every Saturday, I expect the most wonderful song of enlightenment. Instead, I get this Korean lady's life story. How do I not get afflicted? Thank you.
I struggle too. And that's called cultivation, buddy. It's my fault. You don't need to blame anyone but me because I allow it to happen. Okay? And why is that? Because it's free class. If you pay, then you can you can make demands. When it's free, it's my choice. Just kidding. I expect this to happen. Sometimes this is not the first time, but that's part of your learning, that you need to endure it. Okay? Endure. Why is that? Because it's good for you. It may not make sense to you right now. Very much like when you first learn Full Lotus. Your mind is screaming. It says, why do I have to suffer? Why do I have to endure it? Okay? It doesn't make sense to you. Logically, it doesn't make sense. But if you're willing to follow the instructions, great things happen to you. It's the nature of the Trance training, folks. There's a lot of things we're doing that you do not understand. Okay? It's not easy at all for you, especially on the surface. It's really nonsensical. This is nonsense. A lot of it is nonsense. But all you have to remind yourself is that, did I allow to happen or not? If I allow to happen, then there's a reason for it. If it's no good, I will cut it off right away, especially around lunchtime, which is about 10 minutes away. Okay, guys, when it comes to lunchtime, I cut it off right away because it's no good anymore. But the point is that you need to have an open mind, that I'm doing a lot of things that don't make sense to you, to most of you. And yet, many of you choose to tolerate it, choose to what? What's the key word? Endure it. If you endure it, it's not about enduring here. The endurance training here is not about simply physical, but also here. You need to endure it. Okay? You start first with this Full Lotus because it's physical. But we use your legs to teach you to learn to endure mentally. And then after that, okay, then you need to endure a lot of these things where it's on the surface, it appears to be a waste of time, but it's not. Okay? Down the road, when you open your wisdom, when your samadhi level is higher, you will realize it's very useful. You got to a high level, you got to improve because you endured it. Okay? And not just endurance, but also it helps you build something else much better, much more critical for your well-being as well. Okay? Let me go back quickly to the slide here, 157. He says, you're too smart, and therefore you take shortcuts, and therefore you do things that are more sensible to you. And what's the difference? That's what we call worldly smarts, worldly intelligence. Yes, you are right. You are right that it does not make sense. Yes, you're right that when you do things the way you see them, it's really beneficial for you. What's the difference between worldly intelligence versus Li Chu here? Here. Chinese character Li Chu here. We translate it as sharp wisdom. What's the difference between Shu Tu Zhong Ming, you being smart here, intelligent, versus Li Chu, that is sharp wisdom? What's the difference? Do you know? Master Shinhua's teaching looks very casual, but it's very, very precise. What's the difference? Anyone knows? Worldly eloquence, worldly smarts is that they are not wrong. Okay, they're right. And they make sense. Whereas sharp wisdom, they don't use the word intelligence, but they use wisdom. So what's the difference between wisdom and intelligence? Who knows? The difference is in the timeline. More specifically, smart people, intelligent people, worldly people, their timeline is much shorter than people who have wisdom. Let me make my point. Worldly people, give an example, okay? They see $100 bills right there on the floor, okay? And they said, no one's looking, belongs to no one, okay? Therefore, I pick it up. That's a smart thing to do. Otherwise, the wind just blows it or we get lost and get destroyed for nothing, right? That's being smart. That's being reasonable, yeah? However, when you take $100 bills there on the floor, okay, you realize that you're stealing because it doesn't belong to you. You can't take it. So there's a principle behind it. That is, if it doesn't belong to you, and if you did not receive permission to take it, if you take it, it's called stealing, and therefore, right now, in the short term, you have a short-term benefit of having $100 more. Okay, but you expand the time horizon, it's an act of theft. Therefore, in the future, guess what? You have to pay back more than $100. And therefore, people who have wisdom, they say, I ain't going to take a loss. Because taking a $100 bill right now is actually foolish act. It will make me incur a bigger loss in the future. That's the difference between wisdom and intelligence. Intelligent people are not necessarily wrong, okay? But they're too short-sighted. They don't see it. They don't understand. They only see short-term benefits, okay? But not long-term losses. That's the difference. Okay? So your training is spiritual by nature. You are trained constantly, okay, to endure more and more and more. And that has wonderful things beyond this, the advantage of increasing your physical health, but also, much more importantly, that if you decide and commit to, if you're willing to endure more and more, okay, that's the process, folks. The Chan I'm teaching you, the Chan we're training you here in Weiyang lineage, the one I know, okay, I understand, is that you choose to endure more until you can't anymore, and next time around, and do a little bit more, okay? Then you can stop and do a little bit more, and you don't even know how beneficial it is for you. Just commit to that mentally, a little bit more each time. That's all you have to do. There's a magic behind it, okay? And it reprograms your thinking mind and it opens your long-term wisdom. Because if you stick alone to your smarts and to your worldly intelligence, it ends when you die. Whereas when you plant the seeds of wisdom right there, going through the training and sticking to our script, you are planting good roots and great roots. Not just good roots, but also great roots. That's the difference. So don't think we are stupid, by the way, that we give it away for you, give it the good stuff to you for free. Temporarily, we look stupid. But long term, we come out far ahead because we give you $100 worth of free goods. We're planting seeds of wisdom for us to get 10 million more. Good stuff. You cannot call patriarch stupid. He said, "Why? What's so wise about giving it away for free? You taking losses. There's electricity, there's water, and there's food, and you have to pay, and you give it away for free. Well, that's so stupid. Okay, unsustainable. Okay, but it's only short term. Yeah, I calculate too." You can't call me stupid. Foolish, yes. Yes, 6.
Master, for layperson, if I'm not that concerned about money, should I also give my service free to people? That's actually one thing I always struggle. I used to charge a lot for my service. One of the reasons is it's a way to screen people, so I get motivated people.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I don't really mind giving it out for free. But
It's always, you need to have balance. Okay? We can't give away everything constantly. All the time. It's not sustainable. Okay? So that's why I feel that you need to have a balance in the approach. Yes, you have to charge, and then you can give away some free stuff as well. And that's much more sustainable. Okay? At this level. In the future, it's a different thing. When you become a bodhisattva level, then they're willing to give it away for free. You know why? They have so many blessings that they cannot take enough of it. Okay, it's different. But we are limited. We have, our resources are limited, so therefore, much better to have a balance, first of all. Number 2, yes, if you overdo it, then they tend to abuse it. Actually, it doesn't help them. They simply use it as, they become users instead of learning. It's just there. And so in our cases, for example, we give away things for free, but after a while, when these people turn out to just there to take advantage of the freebies, and they really are not interested in learning or changing, that's when we tell them, no, this is the end for you. Okay? And so there's always that. Okay? You can't always win all the time. You can't always get what you want. Jesse and can send you a link to that particular song of Mick Jagger. He's a Rolling Stone groupie. Am I right, huh, Jesse? Yeah, he agrees. Okay, thank you everyone. We stop here today. Oh no, do you have a question? Quick one? Go ahead. He's doing the AV, so I give him special considerations.
Thank you, Master. So recently, I mean not recently, but the acupuncturist I go, he says that my blood pressure is low, and also the pulse, the heartbeat. But he mentioned something about meditation, and then also he says that it's because my work requires to think a lot. So even I try to meditate every day, but it feels like I think it's still not enough, maybe, because the blood pressure is still being low. So is
what low?
Blood pressure. Blood pressure.
Blood pressure is low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe should I meditate more, or maybe do another practice to help with the thinking?
The more you meditate, the lower your heart rate becomes. So that will even lower the blood pressure, no?
Okay, so then it's normal to have the pressure low for me?
For us, yeah.
Okay.
For us, it's our heart rate is very, very low. Okay, but I'm not sure about the blood pressure. I only know that my doctor is always so surprised. He says your heart rate is very, very low, and that's not normal. Okay, so I ignore that part of it. But I'm not sure about the blood pressure. So your question is about your blood pressure is too low.
Yeah, both
and you're
are
concerned
low.
the meditation is gonna. Does it help or does it make it worse?
So he said that it's because I'm weak or because I think too much at work.
I'm not sure. Physically, you may want to consider exercises, okay, that will increase your blood pressure, I think. No? I'm not a doctor. Talk to our doctor and see what they typically recommend, okay? But even in your state, after you meditate, does it help increase your energy level or decrease the energy level?
Yeah, no, I feel with more energy. I can do more things.
You have more energy?
Yeah.
Okay. So it should not have any negative effects on your blood pressure. Actually, in principle, it should help. Okay. But I'm no doctor. We better consult with a real doctor and see what they advise, okay? Whether it's Western medicine or Eastern medicine, what you can do, excuse me, to deal with a low blood pressure. I don't know. Find out, get more information.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Master. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We stop here today, and let's go have lunch.